Hey there, Derek here. Bars! And welcome to Grace. Grace has recently updated, adding 2 new modes. I'll be going over much of those as I really only want to make one. The shepherd in a dark room. At the top of your screen, and Sorrows being Claude. For now, we will be picking Sinro. Open.
What?
You are greeted with a long hallway filled with pillars and a door at the end, with increasing jumping rate on the left. How hard the domain will be. You can increase this amount by manually opening the door to enter the domain with your flashlight, but instead of entering the door, you walk backwards until you find a button. Standing on this button increases the domain's severity up to a max of 10. Hitting max severity will change the way you survive domains slightly, adding entities and increasing the difficulty or intensity of the already in place mechanics. Anyway,
Guile.
I'm just gonna call it Gear. Will be following you throughout the level, keeping you from slacking and being slow. Attached to you is a mechanism which, when incorrectly progressing through the domain, releases a hook, quickly lodging itself inside of your head. You have a maximum of 5 times before you perish, so listen up. Your savior, I don't know who this is, the priest, your fucking love, the shepherd, I don't know, will direct you on when to jump and not jump. Failing to do so will release a hook. Throughout the level, there will be pink lasers trying to harm you. Failing to dodge will release another hook. Traversing for long enough, you will end up at a piston gate, requiring you to collect an orb to open and progress. It will not open unless you collect it. Eventually, a familiar face will appear on your screen. Yup, that's right, he's here too. Litany will appear when you have gone far enough, and will keep appearing from time to time throughout the domain. All you need to do is either crouch or stay sliding. He's literally just a normal Litany. What else am I supposed to say? Litany will kill instead of releasing a hook, so prioritize him over the rest. Anyways, you will have to endure this for a while, as this domain lasts a very long time. At some point, you will see 2 large walls next to each other, and a straight path with no obstacles. You're almost there. This is the final stretch. Litany will appear more often, and the lasers will constantly try to punish your movement. If you manage to survive that, this is the easiest in my opinion. Some tips and tricks for Sinro. If you're in Woad, try to get these 3 modifiers: Michael, Pio, and Luke. Luke increases movement speed, Pio increases air slide handling. You the ability to launch. It's lush, grassy plain. Sergeant Navera of 2 flowers. Basically, it could just miss 2 flowers, but water the rest to fully beat the phase. Once you water them all, the real challenge begins. Your first struggle will be the flower heads, emerging out of the grass surrounding you and charging towards you. Getting attacked by a flower head will raise your conviction bar, so try not to get hit. To vanquish them, simply click while holding out your watering can to flash them. This can be spammed, so do it as much as you need. While flower heads are spawned, an indicator will appear on your screen showing how close they are. When the indicator flashes red, make sure to turn around to where they are and flash them. There will also be a timer that counts down. This is apparent in all phases and will kill you once reaching 0. Once all the flowers in phase 1 have been watered, phase 2 begins. Stem is added into the mix, a modifier enemy that when appearing on your screen, requires you to be only sprinting during its appearance. You cannot slide or crouch. You can, however, use items, so keep using that watering can. Stim will kill instead of raising conviction, so prioritize them over the rest. This phase isn't really that different from phase 1. After all the flowers have been watered in phase 2, the third phase begins. Red indicators will appear on the ground, indicating that the ground will damage you if you are in the inner indicator. Jesus Christ, indicator. I have no idea what it's supposed to be that damages you, but I guess it's something to do with earthquakes or something? I don't know. During this phase, the indicator domain and one of the hardest options in my opinion. When you spawn in domain, so it's best when doing so, you break them, regaining a chunk of your sanity back. You must break these orbs to progress the domain, but you aren't alone. Meet Tragedy, the main threat of the level, aside from the sanity meter. A gargantuan sea snake with a thirst for a certain sinner. Tragedy will constantly emerge from the sea, indicated by green glowing eyes and sometimes a visible line indicator. It really doesn't show up that much, it's really hard to see. To dodge them, simply avoid the indicator or just go really fast in random directions. Eventually, after breaking enough of the yellow orbs, your guide will alert you of the next threat. Tragedy will occasionally electrocute the sea, heavily draining your sanity while in the water. This is after the indicator has been there for like 3 or 5 seconds.
Coño, ya empezó la notificación. Tripping, bro. You tripping.
A statement where he basically downplayed her actions. A lot of people saw it as defending and excusing bigotry, which obviously fueled a ton of outrage. In my last video, I talked about how some folks might have overlooked parts of Simon's response, like he was just trying to make her look good because she had nothing to do with the game itself. And while that might have been how it looked at the time, the next nails in the coffin hit even harder. Pressure cancelled the collab with Grace, which is personally how I learned about this whole situation. And the removed content included modifiers, skins, and whatnot, and some Grace team members distanced themselves from the game and things escalated quickly from there. What started as criticism quickly turned into severe harassment, death threats, and the leak of private sensitive information and doxing, basically, aimed directly at Simon and his girlfriend, but also his team, who had literally nothing to do with any of this. A lot of people quickly swung over to Simon's side after the doxing started, because it crossed a line that never needed to be crossed in the first place. At this point, the team had dropped their April Fool's update called Grace But Evil, and Simon basically said this was likely the last official update, since working on the game under all of this pressure was taking a massive toll on everybody. But as a few hours ago, new screenshots have emerged showing Simon himself using the N-word, which is new, but not shocking. We can also see him saying other offensive and dismissing things toward the situation.
an apology along with Simon, and Simon's apology was just really bad. He said, "I'll have to send out a giant apology. If you know, you know. I'm very ashamed of myself." This is the most half-baked trash apology ever. Bro didn't even say what he did, which was reply to Mochi around 4 days ago and say this N-word. "Yeah, I don't care about the situation. These people are not to convince me for me to care at all." Someone else said, "Does it matter that much though? You guys are just making a game. Who cares what crap people talk?" Then he calls everybody criticizing him the R slur. This is really just so disappointing because we all thought it was just his girlfriend that was saying stuff, but it turns out it's him too. For reference, she said, "I avoid gay people now at all costs. I don't hate them, but I am terrified. I literally never met an adequate gay person, so I will avoid them at all costs for my own sanity," which is just straight up the definition of homo. "Val, you are my only friend here. Everyone else are stupid. N-word." Then she added everyone with the N-word. But I do feel like her apology was better than Simon's because at least she actually said what she did. Simon just hit us with a "if you know, you know," which is just diabolical. Especially since verbatim he said, "They're slurs, I don't say those," which now we can just see is a lie. He also said in DMs to Grace Leaks, that "sorry man, I was never fit for this job. Said it out of anger at the time. My emotions have been getting at me too easy. I'm gonna need a lot of time away. You have every reason to tear my life in front of me."
Caution, bear in area. Oh, yes, he is. And look at him. He's right there. Looking just like in the photo, too. Wow, you're so...
Let's do this.
¿Cuál siguiente comentario?
I just trapped 50 of the biggest streamers in this cube, and whoever leaves last wins that $1 million. These are the biggest streamers in the... He's got a chase. He's on the hunt. He's on the hunt. Oh. Oh, this is intense. You're right there. Oh. He's dialing in.
¿Qué ha pasado? Me dio en la pierna. ¡Ah, no!
Sí, legal.
¡No!
Hey, Ram, Rakai baited you.
Nah, the problem was he grabbed me.
Gotta do whatever it takes to win. Any means possible.
And with that, we have our final eight. Fouling Jason every time. As his football that they were lit.
Can't guard me.
Rakai scores one.
Let's go!
Jason! Bro, that was intense.
Bro, get out. You lost.
Oh!
Go say hi to that homeless guy for me.
Oh! I don't even know what that means. And now it is time for the final game that we're not playing right now. We're actually playing it 24 hours after this video goes out on a live stream on the Mr. Beast channel. What? This is 50 of the biggest streamers in the world.
Oh my God.
So why would we not live stream the final game? And on that live stream, you guys in the chat will decide what they play, the advantages, and have a huge impact on who wins $1 million for their fans.
This could be the biggest stream ever.
And during this live stream, a random viewer in chat.
Why should we hire you?
Please, OJ, I need this. I'm kind of jobless.
1v1 me.
The cameras you see before you are color cameras. They are now transmitting a black and white picture. By pressing this button, which I now do, the cameras are transmitting a live color picture.
This was it. This was the moment the US officially changed from black and white to color TV, becoming the first country to do so. Over the next 30 years, every country in the world made their switch to color TV. And this is how the French did it.
Et voici la couleur.
There was indeed color.
He aquí la televisión en color.
These events were a huge deal, but
if you miss the easiest trick shot, you lose. I got 9 players, and if someone misses one of the shots, they will be eliminated. As we get deeper in the rounds, the shots will get harder.
Seeing as my last video aged like milk, I just want to drop the full Grace drama and its newly uncovered final arcs. If you don't know, Grace is a Roblox game project that started in September 2024. It's a Doors-like experience with lore and a bunch of gimmicky monsters. I personally got into it around that time, and I really liked the game for what it was. A simple, interesting take that brought so much fresh air to the Doors genre. It got regular updates throughout its run and wasn't afraid to try things other games shied away from. Though, as time went on, the recipe started feeling a bit more generic, like each new feature was just trying to one-up the last. Skipping to now, the past few days have been pretty rough, but surprisingly redeemable. Allegations surfaced about the game creator's girlfriend, Finny, with screenshots showing her dropping racist and homophobic slurs in private chats. This started as more of a personal issue, but the first nail in the coffin.
If you miss the easiest trick shot, you lose. I got 9 players, and if someone misses one of the shots, they will be eliminated. As we get deeper in the rounds, the shots will get harder as it goes. The last player standing will win 1,000.
Excuses are coming in. Devilish goes down. That's 2 people, guys. I was expecting to get 3 people out here. Alright, step up.
Alright, so I have every single Piper skin. This is gonna be easy.
Okay, you do have gold Piper, so this should be easy. Alright, I'm in the middle tile. When I emote, I'm gonna start juking, okay? Okay, Solar Raptor is safe. I'm telling you guys, if they let me start getting to the left and right,
your most diabolical confessions. You submitted your confessions. I will be reading them. And I'm probably gonna wish I never did. Okay, but in all seriousness though, thank you guys.
Maybe I'm not getting through to you.
It's news to me that it's news to you. To which degree, who answers to who? We could go on and on, but
Two very boring minutes later. One eternity later.
Here are some brawlers when they were younger. And we start with Colt, where Supercell has already shown us what he looked like as a baby, with just a few tiny strands of hair on his head. But the most interesting part is that, in case you didn't know, both his dad and mom have also had their younger versions revealed to us. Sam had a bit more hair than he does now, and really looked like a super cool dad. Belle, on the other hand, still had some of that red in her hair, which has completely disappeared today. In Najia's case, she was the only one where we got to see every stage of her life. In her animation, we see her as a baby, a child, a teenager, and an adult. Mortis is a more complicated case. If you take a quick look at his family, and even his young version, which looks pretty decent, you'd hardly imagine that this bizarre thing here is what he looked like as a baby. Luckily, not everyone had such a weird past, and some good examples are Kaze, who was extremely cute as a child, Buster, who was the total stereotype of the biggest nerd in school, Sprout, who was literally just a little sprout before Rosa turned him into a war machine. We also have Draco, who ironically we only ever saw with his full face as a child. Poco, who thankfully we got a glimpse of how he looked before his face got melted by the gems. And to wrap it up, we have Grom's baby version when he fell into Finks' powers. It's also worth mentioning Jessie, who in this case seems to have not changed at all since she was a baby. And yeah, just so you know I didn't forget, we also got to see Crow's full appearance revealed from when he was actually just a crow.
The longer it takes you to get this, the more you will hate it. I am Poseidon, god of the sea. Romance. And romance. Okay, I am Neptune, god of the sea.
So by now, if you haven't been living under a rock, you definitely know about the 12 tons of Kit Kats that were recently stolen in Europe, and Kit Kat just posted an update where they had to clarify it was not an April Fool's joke, it was just really unfortunate timing. And because this is no joke, they ended up creating this website that helps them track the Kit Kats that were stolen, where basically if you get some Kit Kats, you can enter your batch number and it will tell you if they were stolen. The website also shows that 413,793 Kit Kats have been stolen in total, which makes me think they have to find these at some point. I feel like it's not easy to hide that many Kit Kats. Anyways, I really thought this was a PR stunt to begin with. I guess not though. I'm invested now. I'll keep you guys posted.
If I found this, would I still need to work?
This is window quartz. A natural window shows inside. Highly sought after by collectors.
If I found this, would I still need to work?
This is a coral fossil. Good for display or carving.